At the warm, pink flesh. Their fingertips are tender and whorled from immersion in water. The scent of soap rises like incense. 3 of the girls have scratched the inside of their wrists with pins or razors. The lines are fainter than the lifelines that crease their palms. I want to trace their scars with my fingertips and ask them why. But instead, I squeeze their hands and tell them to go on into class. Buona fortuna, I say. Good luck on the test. When I first came back to Heart Lake, I was surprised at the new girls. But I soon realized that since my own time here, the school has become a sort of last resort for a certain kind of girl. I have learned that even though the Heart Lake School for Girls still looks like a prestigious boarding school, it is not. It is really a place for girls who have already been kicked out of 2 or 3 of the really good schools. A place for girls whose parents have grown sick of drama, sick of blood on the bathroom floor, sick of the policeman at the door. Athena, her real name is Ellen Craven, but I have come to think of the girls by the classical names they've chosen for class, is the last to finish washing. She has asked for extra credit, for more declensions and verb conjugations to learn, so she is up to her elbows in blue ink. She holds out her forearms for me to see, and there is no way to avoid looking at the scar on her right arm that starts at the base of her palm and snakes up to the crook of her elbow. She sees me wince. Athena shrugs. "It was a stupid thing to do," she says. "I was all messed up over this boy last year, you know." I try to remember caring that much for a boy. I almost see a face, but it's like trying to remember labor pains. You remember the symptoms of pain, the blurred vision, the way your mind moves in an ever-tightening circle around a nucleus so dense gravity itself seems to bend toward it, but not the pain itself. "That's why my aunt sent me to an all-girls school," Athena continues. "So I wouldn't get so caught up with boys again. Like my mother goes to this place upstate when she needs to dry out, get away from booze and pills. So I'm here drying out from boys." I look up from her hands to her pale face, a paleness accentuated by her hair, which is dyed a blue-black that matches the circles under her eyes. I think I hear tears in her voice, but instead she is laughing. Before I can help myself, I laugh too. Then I turn away from her and yank paper towels from the dispensers so she can dry her arms. I let the girls out early after the test. They whoop with delight and crowd the doorway. I'm not insulted. This is part of the game we play. They like it when I'm strict. Up to a point. They like that the class is hard. They like me, I think. At first, I flattered myself that it was because I understood them, but then one day, I retrieved a note left on the floor. "What do you think of her?" one girl had written. "Let's go easy on her." Another, later I identified the handwriting as Athena's, had answered. I realized then that the girls' goodwill did not come from anything I had said or done. It came because they knew, with the uncanny instinct of teenagers, that I must have messed up as badly as they had to end up here. Today they leave shaking the cramp out of their hands and comparing answers from the test. Vesta, the thin, studious one, the one who tries the hardest, holds the textbook open to read out the declension and conjugation endings. There are moans from some, little cries of triumph from others. Octavia and Flavia, the 2 Vietnamese sisters who are counting on classic scholarships to college, nod at each other with the calm assurance of hard studiers. If I listened carefully, I wouldn't have to mark the tests at all to know what grades to give, but I let the sounds of sorrow and glee blur together. I can hear them all the way down the hall until Myra Todd opens her door and tells them they're disturbing her biology lab. I hear another door open and one of my girls calls out, "Hello, Miss Marshmallow." Then I hear a high, nervous laugh, which I recognize as that of Gwendolyn Marsh, the English teacher. It won't be Gwen, though, who complains. It's Myra I'll catch hell from later for